Hello and welcome to a Sunday morning. We are back. We are finally back. We did this a lot at the start of the year, but a few difficult times lately and a few other commitments with a lot of people, a few events we've been running and stuff. We haven't been able to do our game day live show. We've brought it back today for a special reason. And look, first of all, it's a reason we can actually do it before we head down. Well, I head down the M1 to the Parramatta vs Titans game. It is a Sunday night game. First of all, let's thank our sponsors, Paraleagues, Riverside Brewing Co., X-Advisory, BMA Trucking, Time for a Chat, CMS Trovies, Bay Vista, Tony Mustafa, Wink Media, Spot on Hose and Fittings, Tate Sports Card, Nonstop Landscapes, JD Buyers Agent. And this is the EuroWerke Sunday Game Day live show. Look, we've brought some big guns in for today, and I'm all for the banner, to be honest. That's the whole reason we've done it. Obviously, Jack's joining us. Welcome, Jack.
Morning, boys. How are we all?
Oh, not too bad. Sunday. Like I said, I'm just really motivated. Like, I can't wait for this game. 6:15 on a Sunday in the middle of winter. What else could you want in life? Now, I know this is rare, guys, but we found one. I know there's only about 4 or 5 Titans fans in the world. We happen to find one. Caleb, welcome, Caleb.
Thanks, mate. Glad to be here. I was a bit nervous before the potty, but I'm pretty keen now. Keen to talk some smack.
Yeah. It's going to literally take the piss out of you for like 20 minutes. That's about it.
Yeah.
So it's just the usual shit. It's what we usually do to most of the people on here anyway, even when the Parramatta fans. So, look, boys, like I said, it is a Sunday game. It's the last game of the round. We kind of don't know what to expect from this game. It is a mid-season spoon bowl, as some are saying, 16th versus 17th. And rightly so, it has got that, I guess, big field game about it, doesn't it? Everyone's probably sitting there thinking, what do we do with our Sunday? We don't want to be out too long. We can't wait to watch Parramatta versus Titans tonight at 6:15. Jack, how are you feeling about today's game?
Well, mate, I was doing a bit of research prior to this, and I stumbled on a game. I believe it was 2011, the original spoon bowl between Parramatta and Gold Coast. And I remember, I think Mr. Preston Campbell made a little bit of a mistake. Jared Hayne ran the length of the field to score. We put a score on him. So I'm pretty sure Parramatta may be 2-0 in unofficial/official spoon bowls. So I'm expecting it to continue tonight.
The unofficial, official spoon bowl. I love it. I love it. Funny, I remember that game. I was thinking about that last year when we played the Tigers in the spoon bowl. And I was like, you know what? Every time we've gone into a spoon bowl, we've ended up jumping a position and finishing not in the bottom 2. So that happened obviously in 2011. It happened last year. So if we win today, we've got to win by about 16 points, I think. And then we'll jump to 15th. So, there's a chance. The Titans have to win by 32 points. So also there's a chance. Look, Caleb, let's start with it. Why are you a Gold Coast Titans fan, and what did you do supporting rugby league before 2008?
Okay. I've answered this question a lot. Yes, as much as it may surprise everyone, I did support the Broncos prior to the Gold Coast coming into the competition. Look, I'm a man. I stick by my place of birth. I was born on the Gold Coast. So when they came in, new team, I was like, yeah, they had a pretty cool team back then. Started supporting them, and be lying if I said I haven't regretted my decision on several occasions. But look, I live by the sword, die by the sword.
It's probably not a bad move because, like, obviously the Broncos, look, they last win a comp 2006.
Yeah,
you jumped
true.
In 2008, which is, how old were you then?
I was 8.
You're 8. They jumped off at 8 years old, so not exactly a mature decision, but we'll go with it. But you work it out. After that, the Broncos have pretty much done fuck all. Like, you've been saved a lot of heartache. Imagine how much that grand final would have hurt when Ben Hunt dropped the ball.
Or when Nathan Cleary scored with 2 minutes to go to beat Broncos.
Yeah, there's 2. So
I've said it a few times post-season. I prefer to just not even be in the running for a grand final than lose a grand final like that. So I'm winning there.
Exactly. As a Titans fan, I guess you rock up every year knowing your team's not going to play finals football. So it's perfect. It's no disappointment. Look, let's get to today's game. Obviously, like I said, it is an unmotivating game, but it could be an entertaining game. I think it'd be a great game as a neutral to watch. I'll run through the Parramatta team list first. Obviously, there could be some late changes. We're not really sure what's going on there. Haven't really heard much about Zach Lomax. I've been enjoying a bit of a break this week, to be honest. It's been good, but Isaiah Yongi's at fullback. Zach Lomax currently named on the wing with Josh Adokar, Will Penasini and Russell in the centres. Josh Papali'i, Dean Hawkins, Jack Williams, Riley Smith, Junior Paulo, Kel Matalangi, Kitione Katoga, Kit Kat is at the other second row. Jermaine Hopgood at lock, Dylan Walker, on the bench with Matt Jury, Rumi Greg, Jordan Kemani, Lussick. I'm going to actually work through this as I do it and see who's dropped out. No, that app hasn't helped me. So Weimer and Lussick are the bench now. So it means that obviously Ganker, Ronald Volkman, and Samuel Ozu have dropped out. Let's look at the Gold Coast Titans team. And I didn't do a fancy graphic for that because I really didn't want to and I don't have the time. But AJ Brimson's at fullback. He's been playing some great footy. It's Gibbon on the wing with Khan Pereira. Feeder is in the centres. That's Jojo for Peter, just for those who didn't know that. With Semi in the other centres. Kieran Foran, Parramatta legend at 5'8", with Jaden Campbell at halfback. Haas, not the good one, the shit one, is at lock. Randall at second row with Emma. Joliffe and Campbell Gillard in the front row, and Verrills at hooker. The bench is Alec Winecki. Oh my wow! Can you say the number 15 and number 16 for me?
Really going to task me with that? I'm going to go. Yeah. I'm going to go Alec Winecki. I think that's how you pronounce it.
No, the 15 and 16. The fella. That's
Fa'aso Malawi.
Yeah, that one. There's
Got
two of
that
them.
down.
It's all about the R's. Yeah, the Malawi.
Yeah. Pachukia, Simpkins, and Weaver. So that is the Gold Coast Titans team. Look, I'll ask you, Jack, what do Parramatta got to do to win this game?
Well, it's quite simple. We play our best when our backs are on the front foot. We get there, we get good ball. We get Hawkins with his kicking game.
You're going to cop shit no matter what, eh? You've been copping shit in the comments the whole time.
Everyone's on a roll today.
Every opposition fan we bring in, they cop it. So I'm surprised. I thought people might have been in shock actually seeing a Titans fan. You know, only Titans fan we know is Hayden on occasions. But anyway, Jack, continue.
No, get our sets going well with the backs. Hawkins got a good kicking game. Keep it that way. And then just really limit their strike. So obviously Campbell and Brimson are two of the better attackers in the comp. If we can limit them, we should be good. Luckily for us, Gutho's not playing for Parramatta anymore. So Sami has no reason to be the best player in the world when he versus Parramatta anymore. So that's I think that's how the game will play, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm kind of with you. I think a lot of it's on our forwards today. I look at that back line, and there's so much speed in that back line of the Gold Coast Titans. I know we've got a lot of speed in our back line now as well, which is unusual for us. But looking at the second rowers, I feel like we've got him a second. Firma's a great second rower. I don't rate Randall as a second rower. So we need big games from Kit Kat and Kelma. And Kit Kat's had some good games. Kelma probably has not. But I'm kind of hoping we do see that Jack Williams move to the second row. If Jack Williams moves to the second row, I feel like he could have a field day out there. That's where I think we can win the game. As Oscar said here, Junior versus Reg. I think we're going to get the best out of Junior today for that reason. And honestly, we need to stand up in the full back because there's a young half. I wouldn't say inexperienced because Hawkins has got the experience, but not our usual halves. They're going to need a lot to go forward off our forwards to be able to, we're going to miss Mitch's kicking game to be able to win this game. I'll ask you this question first, Caleb. What worries you about Parramatta? Then we'll get to how the Titans can win the game.
Rightio. I guess what worries me is it's the middles, I guess. Like, I shouldn't say that with the middles that we've got or like the forward pack that we've got, but they just underperform. Like, you watch them every week and it just seems like Tino's doing 10 times more than anyone else on the field, which it shouldn't be. We've got like a few big boppers. We've got like decent back rowers and all that stuff. Our lock, Cleese Haas, like he's doing a job there, but like he's not an ideal person to have in that position. Look, I think we have been losing the middle in almost every game this year, and I think that's sort of what I'm worried about today, especially with Junior up against Campbell Gillard. He's been playing a lot better than him this year, I think.
So I just got some news in that Tino's actually been ruled out after Origin. He's having a grade 1 sook still like he was on Wednesday night. So it's expected to rule him out of today's game as well. Look, okay, let's go to you now. What have the Titans got to do to win the game?
First of all, obviously, I think to win an NRL game anyway, you need to win the middle. That's the main thing. It's basically cut and copy and paste for any other game. I think a point of attack that I think we have to really go for is Parramatta's right edge. I think they've been quite leaky lately. Penasini's been making like a few questionable reads when players who run against him. So that's where I kind of want to see us go to. I do have a stat we've won 2 of our last 3 matchups, and I will firmly back that argument up by saying that those are the only 2 wins we have in our last 10 matches against Para.
Sorry.
There has to be a Hayden in the group.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast. Go on.
Yeah, I don't know if you got the end of that, but I said I firmly back that argument up by that there are only 2 wins in the last 10 matches we versed you in. So yeah, it all comes from the middle, in my opinion. We need our forwards to play a big game. I think Jaden Campbell, if we give him a good platform, he can do anything with the ball. Same with Brimo at fullback. He played a great game against Manly. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
Fair, Jack. Who have we got to stop from the Gold Coast Titans?
Yeah, easy. Just got to contain the 1 in their 7. I think we can control their middles. I don't think their middles are that strong. On paper, they're strong, but performance, they haven't been. They love to throw the ball around early in their sets. Like they'll swing out their back line in their own 20. We just got to be alert to that. We need a strong kick chase. I think that's something we've really improved in the last few weeks. And just be patient in attack. We don't have to score off every play. I'm expecting Papali to maybe be a bit over-ambitious to start off with. Hopefully he can kind of reel himself in. And if we can just play a smart game plan, D out well, number up, I think we should be sweet.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I'll go there. You actually took the words right out of my mouth, as Meatloaf would say. So I think we've got Campbell, Brimson. Brimson's been playing some great footy. I think AJ Brimson is probably one of the most underrated players in the game. Every time there's talk of them moving you, I'm like, come on, let's get him. I don't care where we play him, let's get him. And he's obviously starting at fullback now. There's some pretty good young players up there at the Gold Coast as well. And I think Brinson's one we've got to stop. I think we'll naturally go after Campbell. I think Sean Russell's got his eyes on Campbell. He's been looking for revenge for like 3 years. So I think Campbell, if our forwards are on, I think it takes Campbell out of the game. I think, we run a fair bit of traffic, run a few get sets at him, and it takes him out of the game. But Brimson, having a cruise back there at fullback, I'm really worried where he'll insert himself. So, look, let's make this a bit interesting, guys. What's the bet? One's a Gold Coast. You run a podcast together. One's a Gold Coast. One's a Parramatta fan. We got a bet. Can we get a bet live on air? Nothing stupid like tattoos or anything. That's just fucking dumb. Who'd do that?
We tossed up sort of doing some sort of TikTok, embarrassing TikTok thing a while ago. No, do you want to do that, mate?
We will. We'll do one of those the TikToks. How do they do it? Just like we'll do some form of forfeit where we have to post a video of us doing some form of like dance or
one of those dances. I can hear it in my head already, like the dun 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 dun. Yeah, we'll do that.
So I'm going to add a stipulation, all right, because I make the rules around here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've got to do it in the opposition's team budgie smuggler.
Alrighty. Done? We need to order ourselves some budgie smugglers.
All right. I like that.
Use it. Well, if he's the same size package down there, you can just order them and then trade them after, and you've got each other's budgie smugglers anyway. A gift to each other.
Done. Happy birthday.
That's a good idea.
You blokes will like up your Queensland. It doesn't worry me. So, all right, let's get to our bowl predictions. And me and Jack have already put ours in. Jack, do you remember your bowl prediction? Because I've got it here.
I do. Parramatta 30-20. I think I had Fox first try scorer and then a try from Joash starting an hour and a half.
So you look at that. I nailed it when I wrote this down. Look, my poll prediction was Parramatta 34-26. I can't really see defence being the winner today. Joash first try. Para halves will outperform the usual halves. So our try assists, tries, run meters will be higher than the last game from the Bulldogs for Moses and Brown. You got a bold prediction there for us, Caleb?
Right, I've gone Titans 28-16. I'm going to say Para will score 4 tries, but Lomax has forgotten how to convert. I'm going to go first try scorer Brimson off a line break supporting Khan Pereira. And my bold prediction, I think there's going to be a full field try. I'm going to go Brimo's going to score a full field.
Yeah, that's likely, actually. I can see that happening as well. Let's get a question.
I call that bold enough.
Yeah, it's bold enough. It's bold enough when you're a Gold Coast Titans fan. I think your team's going to
It is. Look, we got to take what we can get.
Let's get a few questions in. If anyone's got any questions, ask them. We'll fire them away. We've got to get out of here. I'm actually literally finishing this, going to grab some lunch with a young fella, then heading straight down the freeway. So if you've got any bold predictions, fly them in because we usually do 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We've got about 3 minutes left. So unless you got anything else to say. You got anything else to say? Bold predictions. This game will nail. Yep. That's a fair shout. Let's see how Jack feels about this. I answered this question on Instagram Live earlier. Bold predictions. This game will be the nail in Dylan Brown's Eels career. So if Joash comes out and kills it, Jack, is that it for Dylan?
Look, I don't think so. I think Riles is going to take his time with Joash. I think if Joash absolutely brains it this week, he'll have that 6 in cup. He'll have that 6 in preseason ready for next year. Look, I'm not against it. Everyone knows my love for Dylan Brown. It's kind of wavered after he left. The tattoo really doesn't look too great these days, but it does its job. But yeah, look, I think no matter how well Joash plays, I think next time Parramatta play, Brown will have that 6, and Joash will work his craft and cup for the rest of the year.
Yep, fair. Let's look at this one here. You guys say anything about Dylan Brown's being injured? There was a very popular rumor floating around. I got some clarification off that. Dylan Brown was not injured. I don't know where that started, but it got around pretty quickly. But the rumor was torn Achilles. Definitely not true. Dylan Brown trained. He's fine. So you think he'll be available for selection next week against the Dragons?
I think the big question would be, who would be more upset about that, Parramatta fans or Newcastle fans?
Well,
why would it be Newcastle fans?
Torn Achilles is 4 to 6 months. A ruptured Achilles is 12 months. So,
especially for someone who relies so much on their explosiveness and athleticism, a torn Achilles this early in his career on the back of a 10-year contract may not look good 5 years in.
No, 100%. Now, here's a question for you, Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
From the Para Cave podcast, posting live from his jail cell. Why is the Gold Coast a graveyard for rugby league teams?
Look, everyone always talks about this and says, look, it's too nice of a place like to live, and it's kind of an influencer area, I guess, if you think about it that way. But in my opinion, I think the Roosters are sort of, they're not a graveyard for great rugby league teams, and I think that's a pretty bloody nice to live. Bondi, so. I don't know if we can put it down to that. I just think our management just makes poor decisions. I think it's changed a little bit now. Before, we used to just sign, pay big money for players that are past their prime, and then we're just stuck our salary caps tied up in players that are struggling to make first grade, in my opinion. Taylor. And yeah, exactly. We pay $1 million for a rookie of the year who then develops a gambling problem and doesn't know how to play rugby league anymore. So yeah.
Charity boxing event between Rob Macker and Caleb.
Yeah, Rob Mack has been in here the whole time. It's fantastic. Look,
I love it, mate.
I'll give my thoughts on this, see if we get any other questions in. But my thoughts are that, and I've been obviously to the Gold Coast several times. We all do. Great place up there. As you said, an influencer. On that, Caleb, what is your OnlyFans link? Just if you want to post it for everyone.
It's
for me,
only my balls 56.
Yeah. The ground's just a little bit too far out. Like you see it when they play Brisbane. Brisbane, obviously, it's easy. I find it easier to get to Robina on public transport from Brisbane than actually the Gold Coast. Like you go out there, it's a terrible place to park. They've got no parking. They make you park age way. When the ground first opened, I remember going there, you just have to get a bus. So I went there in I went there in 2015, and you had to park like a kilometre and catch a bus back in. Like, how stupid is this? It's just an absolute shithole to get to. Great stadium. They just put that a little bit too far out, which doesn't make sense to me. Obviously when they first come in, they were playing at Carrara, which obviously the Gold Coast Suns have taken over now. But that would have been the perfect place to knock down and rebuild. Obviously end up getting done for them anyway. But they just completely screwed up, in my opinion. The other mistake they made is the timing of bringing him in. As you said, you come across in 2008. But any loyal Brisbane fan, and not a kid because you're a kid, any loyal Brisbane fan, after Brisbane have just won a comp in 2006, is probably thinking, oh, yeah, we've won a comp 2006. We've had success, obviously, 98 and all that kind of stuff. Whenever they won, it was at 90. Yeah, it was 98. Brisbane won the comp before that. So, and obviously they had those dream runs before that. They're thinking, I'm not going to go support the Gold Coast. Like, they were too loyal to Brisbane. And I guess it's kind of been justified because the Gold Coast really have no history and have achieved fuck all since. Yes, Brisbane haven't done much, but they've still got that history at least, and they've still got that, I guess, the stadium and the culture that is Brisbane. So I guess that's why the Gold Coast has consistently never worked, in my opinion. And that's obviously just mine. So anyway, that's all. That's all we've got time for anyway. Quick show, as I promised. got any final words? Anything you want to say to Jack, Tino?
Look, I'm going to say, I'm going to say, I hope our forwards put pressure on the slightly fitter Jack Logley playing halfback, Dean Hawkins. Let's go.
He doesn't have the ball skills I have.
I'm not talking about your OnlyFans again, Jack. Jack, you got anything to say?
No, we're gonna win like we always do against the Gold Coast. They beat us last year when we had 3/4 of our team out, and it still took them 3/4 of a game. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna go watch the Sharkies pump the Broncos now. I'm gonna go make the trip up to Suncorp to go watch that, and then be home in time to watch a Joe Ash special.
So FYI, it's down. It's down to Suncorp. You live on the Sunshine Coast. It's down.
Do you feel better now, Adam?
Yeah, I do. I fucking hate that. I'm going down to Sydney today, not up to Sydney. I know when you go to a bigger place, a lot of people say it's up, but no, it's down. It's definitely down.
My geography's never been my strong suit. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, we've got one final question. Is Rumor Greg gone at the end of the year? Well, I never thought we'd see him in first grade again. He's in first grade this week, apparently. So I guess he's got a lot to prove today. I think it has taken him quite a long time to readapt to the weight loss. He lost so much weight and he was such a power player. I think it's just taking him that time. So let's see how he goes. So, all right, guys, look, that's all we've got time for. As I said, we'll be back on Tuesday night. So for those heading to the game, good luck. I'll see you there. I don't think there'll be that many of us there. Rug up. It'll be nice. Is this Troy?
Troy's just got my back.
Troy, I'll see you at the game, and we can talk about this in the car park. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. See you next Tuesday. Go Para.
Thank you.